But what I was saying was, although whether it's jealousy, envy, resentment, it's all justifiable because there were people that were pounding the pavement and going through so much to help elevate the WNBA's profile. The combination of the two things make her the golden goose for the WNBA. Go after her, compete with her, get the better of her at every turn. Nobody's questioning that you can't go after her. Long before Caitlin Clark ever came along, and yet we're denied that level of recognition and that level of appreciation. The bottom line is, since Caitlin Clark is the one here now, ride the wave.
She was the rookie destined for greatness, the face of the future in women's basketball. But just months later, Angel Reese is out of the Chicago Sky lineup. What happened? From 0 for 8 shooting meltdowns to trademarking MiBounds for her own missed rebounds, we're unraveling the stunning fall of the Bayou Barbie. Why did her team give up on her so quickly? And what does this mean for her WNBA career? Stay tuned to find out why this rookie's rocket to fame came crashing down.
And I understand Lonzo Ball for the Chicago Bulls coming out and talk about the ref that threw out Reese is weak. By the way, you know who you are. Keep your money, Angel. I got you. Big props to him. Don't blame him one bit. We all should have felt that way because she didn't deserve that ejection. Angel Reese is a terrific player who's going to be a star in the WNBA. I believe in her. She's not Angel Reese. She's not Caitlin Clark. Not as of yet. She's just not. That was BS. But in the same breath, the bigger story is that it came a day after she said, people ain't just watching the WNBA for Caitlin Clark.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video.
Caitlin Clark brouhaha. What do you make of it from a basketball perspective first?
As much as the W has been elevated to all of these platforms, we've all pointed out that it is physical, right? I thought it was adjudicated appropriately by the officials. There's a push to Natasha Howard first, impetus of the rivalry that we have between Caitlin and Angel Reese. I remember funny clips on the internet about two different Americas based on the music that was being played in the Iowa locker room versus the LSU locker room.
Imagine this. Angel Reese was supposed to be untouchable. After shining in the NCAA and earning a reputation as the fearless Bayou Barbie, she seemed destined to instantly dominate the WNBA. Her highlight reels, trash-talking swagger, and championship pedigree made her a hero at LSU and a beacon of hope for women's basketball. Fans expected her rookie season to be full of jaw-dropping performances. Instead, it crashed spectacularly. Reese didn't just struggle, she set new lows, including a jaw-dropping 0 for 8 shooting performance against the New York Liberty that left everyone watching in disbelief.
The ejection happened after Reese was called for her 5th foul and was, quote, disrespectfully addressing, end quote, official Charles Watson. Now look, let's get to the WNBA, where Chicago Sky rookie forward Angel Reese was ejected from the game last night against the New York Liberty after drawing consecutive technical fouls. Made it clear that fans are watching women's basketball not because of, quote, one player, but because of her as well. Today, the WNBA rescinded the second technical upon further review, according to a league source, which does not mean much at this point in my estimation.
This wasn't the debut anyone saw coming. Her shooting woes didn't stop there. She finished her first stretch in the league with a field goal percentage of only 28%, one of the worst starts for a rookie in a decade. And then came the jokes. The phrase MiBounds, which she had trademarked in anticipation of capitalizing on her rebounding prowess, became internet gold, but for all the wrong reasons. Fans turned it into a meme to highlight how many of her rebounds came from her own missed shots. In one game alone, Reese managed to grab 3 offensive boards in a single possession, and none of them resulted in a basket. Reese's struggles extended far beyond the numbers though. In one particularly awkward moment, teammate Camila Cardoso visibly walked away from her during a timeout huddle. It wasn't just fans that noticed Reese's issues. Her own team seemed disconnected. Statistically, she led the league in contested shots, but rather than showing resilience, it only pointed to her poor shot selection. Analysts noted that her decision not to adapt her game to professional defenses made her a predictable, easy target for opponents. And the bigger question hanging over this, where was her focus? Even during this slump, Reese was doubling down on her social media presence, creating TikToks and promoting her brand while seemingly ignoring mounting criticism of her lack of effort. Her priorities became the talk of locker rooms and fan forums. But was it all just bad branding? Or is there a deeper issue with how Reese approaches her game? That's where things get even more concerning.
But it's been clear over the last couple of years that there is a sect of folks that root for her that have used her to push their agendas. An issue with being able to appreciate and celebrate the humanity and the athletic accomplishments of both of these women, right? I do not think that all Indiana fans or all Caitlin Clark fans represent any one particular belief.
You know what's wild? While Angel Reese was missing shot after shot on the court, off the court she was working overtime on building her brand. Between trademarking MiBounds and Bayou Barbie, she was positioning herself as the marketable star of the WNBA before she'd even proven herself. On paper, it made sense. Reese was coming off a championship run at LSU, had become a social media sensation, and looked like the perfect crossover between basketball star and influencer. But as her game crumbled, fans started wondering, was she too focused on fame instead of basketball? Criticism came fast and loud. It wasn't just about Reese's poor performances, it was about what she seemed to care about. After some of her worst games, like the infamous 0 for 8 meltdown, Reese posted TikToks promoting her latest brand partnerships instead of addressing her struggles. Fans called her out for seemingly brushing off disappointing nights and doubling down on her image. Even teammates reportedly grew frustrated with her, feeling like the energy she brought to social media didn't translate to effort during games. Compare that to someone like Caitlin Clark, a fellow college superstar who entered the professional world at the same time as Reese. While Reese was filing trademarks, Clark stayed focused on her game, showing up for practices early and leading with her performances. The results were clear. Clark quickly became a dominant force for her team. Meanwhile, Reese was struggling to keep up, and it showed. The gap between the two only added fuel to the criticism that Reese was prioritizing fame over fundamentals. Even the management seemed to notice where her priorities were. Reports suggested that Reese's relentless focus on her personal brand wasn't just a distraction for her, it was starting to affect morale in the locker room. One insider even commented that it felt like Reese wanted the spotlight more than the success. And now, here we are. With her branding empire under question and her team moving on, the question becomes, has the Bayou Barbie built something that could outlast basketball, or did she light the fuse that exploded her career? Angel Reese's rise to fame was meteoric, but her fall was just as swift. Her focus on branding, highlighted by trademarks like MiBounds, became a symbol of misplaced priorities. At the same time, her performances on the court were overshadowed by missed shots and minimal improvement. It's a reminder that even immense talent requires discipline and dedication to grow in competitive environments. For young athletes watching, Reese's story raises tough questions about chasing fame versus honing your craft. Basketball gave her the platform, but will she use it to reclaim her place, or let this moment define her forever? Only time will tell.